From News Channel 15, you're watching News Channel 15 Tonight with Kyle Peach. This is News Channel 15 Tonight.
Hi, good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Peach. Here's a look at our top story. An autopsy performed on a 2-year-old girl from Brownsville in White County has not yet revealed a cause of death. Illinois State Police Child Death Task Force has opened an investigation into the death of Aspen Nelson, who was found dead last Friday morning at her mother's residence. WFIW says White County Coroner Chris Marsh confirmed that the autopsy conducted on Monday in Springfield was inconclusive. He is currently awaiting the results of toxicology and culture tests before an official cause of death can be determined. Aspen Nelson was staying at the home of her mother, Nikki Hast, where Hast's boyfriend, Lauren Phillips, was also present. According to authorities, Aspen had been dropped off at the residence by her father, Justin Nelson, around 5 o'clock the night before. She was found unresponsive on that Friday morning. After getting several phone calls and messages from concerned residents about recent plea agreements in the White County court system, Carmel's police chief has released a statement explaining that police are typically not involved in the court process and plea agreement process and normally have no knowledge of the plea agreements until they're made public. According to WRUL, Chief Jason Carter said some citizens have specifically asked about the misdemeanor charges of offenses and felony charges and why they are the way they are. The chief says that they have no control over the statutory assignments of charges, as that is set by the Illinois legislature and not the state's attorneys, judges, or law enforcement. He says they have no input into or knowledge about plea agreements unless advised by the state's attorney's office. The police chief says that when outcomes of cases are released that aren't favorable to victims and the community, the law enforcement community becomes just as upset and outraged as the public. A Florida man has been sentenced to 5 years in prison in Clay County on drug-related charges. WNOI reports 34-year-old Matthew J. McWhorter was sentenced on a charge of possession of meth dating back to September of last year. Clay County State's Attorney Philip Givens says McWhorter pled guilty Wednesday and was given the prison term to be followed by 6 months of parole. And a Carmel woman is headed to probation thanks to an agreement through the Offender Initiative program. Christy Cribbs was charged with theft of between $10,000 and $100,000 from the school in Carmel where she was employed. WRUL says the agreement will require Cribbs to serve 2 years probation, perform 30 hours of community service through their probation office, where her husband is a probation officer. She's also subject to a fine and restitution, though terms of that were not disclosed in online court records. A review in the case has been set for May 1st. Lots of arrests to tell you about tonight. A probation compliance check in Wayne County late last night into early this morning resulted in several arrests on drug-related charges. WFIW says the Wayne County Sheriff's Department reports 5 people were charged with possession of meth, including 38-year-old Amanda M. Scott of Jeff, 35-year-old Michael P. Wetzel Jr. of Ziegler, 20-year-old Brian A. Bailey Jr., and 36-year-old Brittany M. Bush, as well as 47-year-old Bobby W. Cottrell and 42-year-old Kelly J. Cottrell, all of Fairfield. All 5 were taken to the Wayne County Jail. Another man, 57-year-old Troy M. McGahey of Fairfield, was charged with possession of crack cocaine and meth, but was issued a notice to appear due to health-related issues. Officials emphasize the operation underscores their ongoing commitment to enforcing drug laws and ensuring probation compliance in Wayne County. In a separate incident on Wednesday, 32-year-old Cody J. Yard of West Frankfort was arrested by the Wayne County Sheriff's Department on charges of aggravated home repair fraud. During a lengthy investigation, authorities found probable cause that Yard had committed the offense of home repair fraud on an elderly victim from Wayne City. Also on Wednesday, deputies there arrested 47-year-old Bobby W. Cottrell of Fairfield after a traffic stop on a charge of driving on a revoked license. A passenger, 44-year-old Amanda G. Garner of Fairfield, was arrested on a Clay County warrant. Also on Wednesday, deputies conducted a traffic stop driven by 38-year-old Carrie R. Taylor, who was found to have an active Richland County warrant and was taken to the Wayne County Jail. Deputies also arrested 45-year-old Philip D. Brown of Fairfield in a separate incident for driving on a revoked license. In other arrests, 51-year-old Misty R. White of Fairfield was arrested by Fairfield police last week on a Wayne County failure to appear warrant. 57-year-old Jesse Downen of Fairfield was cited by police for driving on a revoked license. Tuesday, 47-year-old Terry A. Hicksonbaugh of Fairfield was arrested on a Wayne County failure to appear warrant for possession of meth, criminal damage to government-supported property, disorderly conduct, and violating an order of protection. And Tuesday, Fairfield police responded to the 500 block of East Elm to the report of a trespasser. 39-year-old Matthew L. Russler of Fairfield was arrested for battery after it was determined he struck the victim in the head with a handheld cooler. Meanwhile, a wanted Bridgeport man was arrested Tuesday in Knox County, Indiana. 36-year-old Derek Tate was arrested after a vehicle pursuit. He was originally wanted on a warrant for resisting law enforcement, and after his capture, now faces an additional count of resisting law enforcement. He was taken to the Knox County Jail. On Thursday, Carmel police were notified of a person asleep behind the wheel in front of First Mid Bank. Officers arrived and noticed the driver as 32-year-old Kelsey Collard and observed pills in plain view. Those pills were determined to be a Scheduled 4 controlled substance. Officers also found meth, a meth pipe, and cannabis in the vehicle. Collard was arrested, charged with unlawful use of property, possession of meth, 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, possession of cannabis by a driver, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Thursday night, Carmel police arrested Stephen Forrester after a domestic dispute in which he's accused of choking his fiancée and hitting her in the legs with a frying pan. Forrester was taken to the White County Jail, according to WRUL. Olney police also reporting several arrests. Last Thursday, 29-year-old Aaron W. Lockhart of Olney was arrested for possession of meth, illegal transportation of alcohol or possession of alcohol, possession of cannabis in a vehicle, and on a Jefferson County failure to appear warrant. Back on Saturday, 20-year-old Lucas O. Sanders and 19-year-old Caden B. Sanders of Olney were arrested for criminal trespass after an investigation on East Hall Street. Also Saturday, 43-year-old Donald W. Wilson of Newton was arrested for driving on a revoked license and for a glass windshield or mirror violation after a stop on West Mack Avenue. And 35-year-old Brittany K. Gordon of Effingham was arrested on an Effingham County failure to appear warrant. Several arrests were made on Monday. 39-year-old Kyle R. Farrar of Olney was arrested for public indecency after an investigation on East South Street. Meanwhile, 50-year-old David K. Chance of Olney was arrested for criminal trespass to a residence after an investigation in the 600 block of Ludlow Street. Chance had entered the home without authority while the victim was inside. He was later released due to the Illinois Safety Act. Then, a short time later, Olney police were called to the 300 block of South Kitchell to the report of a subject down and unresponsive. Officers were able to find that was David Chance. Due to the situation, Narcan was administered and Chance became responsive. He was left in the care of the ambulance service. Then later Monday evening, Chance was again arrested for criminal trespass to a residence after an investigation in the 800 block of North Morgan Street. As for the second time in the same day, he had attempted to enter a home without authority where the victim was inside. Chance was arrested on scene, but again released due to the state of Illinois' Safety Act. Meanwhile, finally on Tuesday from Olney, 20-year-old Timerion D. Jackson of Olney was arrested for possession of a stolen vehicle, theft, and obstructing of identification after an investigation on Southwest Street. Meanwhile, WAKO reports the Lawrence County Sheriff's Department arrested 2 people yesterday. 29-year-old Colton Woods was arrested on an out-of-county warrant and was also charged with possession of meth, and 40-year-old Thomas Irvin was also sought on an out-of-county warrant and additionally charged with failure to appear in court. The Fairfield Community High School Board met Wednesday with the oath of office given to newly elected members Steve Baker and Lori Ellis, as well as recognition of retiring members Jeremy Carter and Gail McGahee. Matt Rush was elected as president, Nate Carter vice president, Kim King as secretary. Fairfield's board designated Fairfield National and People's National Bank and Edward Jones as recognized depositories. Jared Smith approved as district treasurer. The board will continue to meet the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. The board also approved the new SRO contract with the City of Fairfield for the next 3 years. The fiscal year 26 district consolidated plan and cooperative milk bid from Prairie Farms were approved. The board rehired Macy Clark as a long-term sub and rehired all fall and winter coaches. Plus, they approved a tentative addendum to the current collective bargaining agreement and accepted the resignation of Holden August, effective April 30th. WFIW also reporting that the Fairfield Grade School Board met this week. Superintendent Christina Gardner reported that the district had received 79% of its revenue and had expended 73% of its budget. 8th grade graduation is set for Thursday, May 15th at 6 p.m. Next year, math curriculum will be reviewed along with the potential cost of implementing a new science curriculum. Planned summer maintenance projects include renovating the north side school hallways, installation of new faucets in several Center Street bathrooms, and the board is awaiting a quote for air conditioning for the old gym. There remains a vacant 2-year term on the board. The district soon to post the application for interested candidates. And in personnel, the board accepted the resignation of Shelley Bora as Beta Club and enrichment sponsor and Heather Walters as paraprofessional. The board hired Laura Zerlini as 8th grade girls basketball coach, Stacy Blaine, Lauren Eccleberry, Elizabeth Weaver, and Sam Coomer as paraprofessionals for next year, pending background checks and licensure. They also approved contract extensions for Rhonda Clark through June of 2029 and Christina Gardner through June of 2028. Finally, wages for non-certified staff, including bus drivers, secretaries, nurses, and custodians, were approved. And 2 newly elected members and 1 incumbent were formally sworn in Wednesday as the Lawrence Unit 20 School Board met. WAKO says Mary Seitzinger replacing Kenny Waller, Nikki Sapp filling a vacancy, and incumbent Reese Ivers were all re-elected and seated. Ivers was elected president of the board, Ron Waldrop vice president, Kyle Gray secretary. The board approved the 25-26 school calendar and were updated by Superintendent Doug Doherty on the pending bill in the state legislature, which would ban Native American nicknames and mascots for K-12 schools. That legislation is now scheduled for action in committee in the Illinois Senate starting next week. Lots of news tonight. Stay with us. We've got to look at your weekend weather forecast straight ahead. Then we'll talk sports, and we've got an interview with new Mount Carmel High School basketball coach Kyle Buss coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
At Wabash General Hospital Senior Enrichment Center, we believe that sometimes a helping hand is all it takes for seniors to get their lives back on track. Our dedicated team of healthcare professionals are here to offer guidance and support, helping navigate the unique health and lifestyle concerns faced by seniors. Whether dealing with feelings of anxiety, loneliness, or unresolved grief, struggling with changes in mood or concentration, or coping with health-related challenges, we're here for you. Call Wabash General Hospital Senior Enrichment Center at 618-263-9116.
Life doesn't slow down for busy families. From early practices to late night games, every moment matters. That's why First National Bank offers online tools to fit into your schedule no matter how hectic it gets. From mobile banking to quick check deposits, First National Bank makes it easy to keep up with life and stay on top of your finances. No matter the schedule, First National Bank keeps you in the game.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Illinois lawmakers are back in Springfield to finalize a new budget for the coming fiscal year as the General Assembly winds down its spring session. Join Illinois lawmakers and the Capital News Illinois team of veteran State House reporters with weekly on-the-scene coverage through adjournment at the end of May. Illinois lawmakers, now a public service of Capital News Illinois.
Welcome back. It's time to take a look at your weather forecast here tonight. And as you can see, earlier this afternoon, we had a good bit of rain in the area. But it is on the way out of here. That's the good news. As we put the maps in motion, you can see bulk of the rain heading out. Still a few passing showers, maybe a rumble of thunder tonight, but that'll end before midnight. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds predominantly through the morning tomorrow, but the afternoon is expected to give us some peaks of sunshine. In fact, we're actually forecasting a mostly sunny day, and we're not expecting this rain here that you see to move into our area. It's going to track further to the south. I guess down south of Interstate 64 can't rule out a stray shower, but we're still expecting a mostly sunny Saturday and even Sunday across the area, despite seeing some of the clouds there. Almanac for the day, 75 degrees our high temperature today. 64 was the low this morning. We've picked up almost 7/10 of an inch of rain, 65 1/100ths here at our Wabash Valley College studios. Looking at your forecast maps now for tonight, the showers, maybe a thunderstorm, will end before midnight. Overnight lows will be a little chilly. Upper 40s to the north of Highway 50. 51 though in Olney, 51 in Albion, 54 down in Carmel tonight. As we go into your Saturday, again some clouds to start the day, but we think we'll see the sun periodically throughout the afternoon. We're going to go optimistic and say a mostly sunny day. Highs will be a little cooler in the mid-60s region-wide. Saturday night into Sunday, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows will be in the mid-40s. Low 40s to the north, upper 40s to the south. And then on Sunday, we'll see again a mostly sunny day. Again, some showers passing just to the south of the area, but we're not expecting those here. High temperatures will be in the upper 60s. Then as we move into Monday, the temperatures warm up. It's 82 degrees on Monday with plenty of sun, and then daily chances of showers and thunderstorms. Best chance looks to be on Tuesday. Can't rule out severe weather there, as the high will get to 83. But then less likely the showers and storms become Wednesday and Thursday before drying out next Friday. Highs go from the low 80s into the 70s. That's your forecast. We'll talk sports next.
Get freedom of choice at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a Ford Bronco up to $20,000 off and get a new 2025 F-150 with payments as low as $542 a month. See them all at SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com. You have freedom of choice at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler with payments as low as $304 a month and 2025 Grand Cherokee L as low as $479 a month. Come in today or go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
Have your weather radio, have a flashlight with batteries in it, make sure your cell phone's charged, know where you're going to go when bad weather hits. Go to a lowest interior room in your house and wait the storm out. After the storm, if your power's out or if there's any kind of dangerous situation or anything like that, call Mount Carmel Public Utility Company. As you go outside to survey the damage a little bit, just make sure to stay away from down power lines.
Welcome back. Let's talk sports. We began with high school baseball yesterday in the Little Illini. Mount Carmel got to Casey yesterday, 7-4. Robinson blanks Olney, 1-0. Lawrenceville beats Marshall 9-1, and Newton over Paris 1-0. In the Black Diamond, in 4 innings, Carmi beat El Dorado 15-0. Edwards County beat Hamilton County 5-3. Flora beat Fairfield 3-2. In the Cahokia, Freeburg beat Salem 12-6, and the Greater Egyptian, Carrier Mills beat NCOE 10-2. Non-conference play, North Clay City beat Charleston 8-2. High school softball in the Little Illini, Mount Carmel beat Class 1A number 2 state-ranked Casey 10-6 yesterday in 8 innings. Meanwhile, Robinson beat Olney 2-1. Marshall blanked Lawrenceville 9-0. Newton beat Paris 13-1. In the Black Diamond, Carmi picked up a forfeit win over El Dorado. Edwards County beat Hamilton County 5-3. Flora beat Fairfield also 5-3. In the Cahokia, Salem beat Freeburg 4-2. In the Greater Egyptian, NCOE over Carrier Mills 12-5. Non-league play, Hudsonville Palestine blanks Red Hill 2-0. Odin Patoka Sandoval beats North Clay City 11-7. Girls high school track at the Olney Invite. Olney first at 166.5. Newton second at 125.5. Elsewhere from our area, North Clay City sixth at 26th. Lawrenceville seventh with 15. And at the Weber track meet, Fairfield took first with 168. Weber was second. 7 teams took part. In the boys track meet at Mattoon, Olney took fourth with 70 points, 6 points behind third place Mount Zion. Danville was first at 87, Newton 10th overall at 21 points. There were 14 teams taking part there. One boys tennis score from yesterday, Flora edges Salem by the final of 5-4. Big game in college baseball yesterday. Wabash Valley lost to conference leader John A. Logan 13-7. Now they're 3 back in second place are the Warriors. Alney Central lost to Southwestern 8-7. Frontier fell to Lakeland 16-7. College softball yesterday, Wabash Valley splits with Southwestern Illinois, losing 11-5 in Game 1, winning Game 2 6-2. Alney Central was swept by Lincoln Trail. They fell 16-0 and 1-0. A very quick break coming your way, and then back with In Focus, our sit-down interview with new Mount Carmel High School head basketball coach and MCHS athletic director Kyle Buss, right after this break.
Hi, my name is Rylan Robb. I am from Albion, Illinois, and I am a radio TV major here at Wabash Valley College. From broadcasting all sorts of sports games to producing my own TV show and radio show, the hands-on experience is as much as you want to do with it. In terms of the program itself, I think it's really special. It's really like almost a little family in a way, and it's really been really nice being able to experience the things I have with people that genuinely appreciate it with me.
Time now for an In Focus segment. Pleased to be joined by Mount Carmel High School athletic director and new head basketball coach at Mount Carmel High School, Kyle Buss. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And obviously, congratulations being named the head coach of Mount Carmel High School, a program that has had a run of recent success not all that long ago, and I know that you're happy to take over the reins of the program.
Sure, yeah. You know, just being named the head coach of a place where, you know, I played, I grew up, I watched, you know, as a young kid, I watched, you know, Coach Johnson have success with a very, very good team, and Craig Snow, and you know, and then being an assistant coach for 10 years, I've just been around the program a lot, you know, in the last couple of years, just kind of watching it from my athletic director role, just, you know, just so excited. I think it's a great opportunity. I think we have a great group of kids, you know, only graduating one senior. I think we're gonna, you know, have 6, 7 seniors next year's team, and then maybe 5 or 6 juniors. So I think we're gonna go from a pretty young team to a pretty experienced team here over the next couple of years. So I'm just ready to get started.
Tell me about what the first couple of weeks are going to look like for you being the new head coach. I'm sure trying to reach out and talk to the kids and others. What do the first few weeks look like?
Yeah, so biggest thing, the first thing I want to do is make sure I can get my staff ready to go. So we'll have, you know, anywhere between 4 and 6 or 7 assistant coaches. So just trying to figure out exactly who that's going to be and what role they're going to have is kind of my first order of business. Second thing would be to work on our spring and summer schedules. So we have about a month left of school. So we're gonna try and do some stuff with the kids here as they're still in school, and then obviously we'll do a lot of stuff in June and even into July. So just trying to hammer out that schedule and figure out exactly what works best for our kids, and because I think the summer stuff is very important. I think it's critical for our development from now and then June, July, and as we get closer to basketball season. So I think it's very important that we get the kids in the gym. We want them to love to be in the gym, to shoot and work on the fundamentals, because you can't just show up in November and expect to put the ball in the hole. So hopefully, you know, the kids buy in and we get a lot of, you know, kids in the gym this summer.
Tell me about what the Kyle Buss system looks like. I mean, obviously you've got to figure out where everybody's going to be and who you've got and all that kind of thing. Sure. But the style of play that you guys want to run.
Yeah. Defensively, I think is kind of where I'll start. You know, I think defense is you could be the worst basketball player in the world, but if you play really, really hard and you know a couple of things on defense, you know, you'll be able to play. And I think, you know, you look at the T-Towns of the world. When you think of T-Town, you think really great defense, and you know, that just allows you to be in every ball game. You know, there's going to be some nights where your shots don't fall and things like that. But if you can have, you know, really good defenders and play great team defense, I think you're going to be in a lot of games. So that's where we'll start. We'll have a few principles that we'll start hammering in this summer, some basic rules, and then just trying to stay consistent with those rules as we go forward. Offensively, you know, I think what we'll do this summer is kind of look at personnel, look at players' strengths and weaknesses. I think, you know, the best thing you can do as a coach is to put your kids in their best possible situation to be successful. So I think, you know, we'll have a few set plays for you know, a ball handler who may have an advantage. We'll have some plays for a shooter who we think we can get open, who's got the hot hand. We'll have some plays for a post player. So, you know, we won't run a ton of continuous offense. I think let's look at a matchup and go kind of exploit that matchup. So that's probably where we'll look to go offensively.
So obviously this is a big job for you, on top of being the athletic director. Listening to your interview with the folks at WSJD earlier, I know there's going to be a change for you in your status with football.
Yeah, you know, I've coached football ever since, you know, I got out of college at Gibson Southern for 4 or 5 years, and then with Michael here when he got the job here. So, you know, football is definitely a love of mine. I've loved coaching at Gibson Southern. I love coaching at Mount Carmel. But yeah, with this new role as being the head coach, I think it's important for my family and just to make sure that, you know, we're not too overwhelmed, you know, as a high school and an athletic department where, you know, I'm running, you know, 90 to nothing at a bunch of different places. So I'm gonna take a step back from football in the fall. That way we can kind of roll right into basketball season and be focused on that, and then continue to do softball in the spring.
So let's cover all bases.
Sure.
Update us on softball, where we're at this point, and what that team looks like as we get closer to postseason.
Sure. We're sitting at 8-4 right now. You know, we started off the season really well. You know, hitting the ball, pitching was all there. In the last week or so, we've struggled at the plate a little bit. I think our timing is just a little bit off. You know, you don't just go from being a really good hitter to being a bad hitter. So I think that's just kind of part of it. I think we're just, you know, in a little bit of a slump right now at the plate. So we're making some minor tweaks to some things with a couple of their stances and their swings and things like that. So these girls are too talented for them to not work themselves out of it. So, you know, we got a huge conference game on Thursday with KZ Westfield. So that's a big one. You know, I think every team in the conference has at least one loss except for Newton right now. We lost to them at their place 1-0 in a close game that could have went either way. So the conference standings, I think, you know, Newton is a team that's good, but I think they could easily lose a game. So if we can go to KZ on Thursday and win, I think that kind of puts us back, you know, in the hunt to win that conference championship, and then, you know, obviously working towards, you know, winning a regional in May.
All right, from basketball coach to softball coach, football now, let's go to AD really quickly, because another new head coach hired for a varsity sport at Mount Carmel High School, a familiar face as well, and Michael Cheeseman. Talk about getting him back into the fold.
Yeah, you know, the Cheesemans have done a great job, you know, from Pat to Andrew, now Mike, with the wrestling program at Mount Carmel. I don't think you'll find anybody that cares more about wrestling than the Cheesemans. And, you know, just Mike's been an assistant the last couple of years, and just being around him and the way he interacts with the kids, he's just very, very nurturing, very a father figure type for those kids. And I think they're really going to love having him at the head. And just, again, I think he's going to get kids to buy in. He's going to get kids out for wrestling. And they work it from, you know, kindergarten on up. So their youth wrestling has come a long way. They've got a lot of kids in it, and I know they put a ton of time into it. So I think, you know, Mike and I think Pat's going to help. I think they're going to do a great job of, you know, continuing the wrestling success.
Kyle Buss, athletic director, assistant football coach for right at this moment, head softball coach, and to be the new head basketball coach at Mount Carmel High School. Looking forward to the season ahead. It's going to be fun.
Yep, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate you having me. I do just want to say thanks to my wife. She puts up with a lot. The athletic director duties, it's not a 9-to-5 job, so there's some late nights and things like that. But I just want to say thanks to her for giving me the green light to apply for the basketball job and get it, because it's going to put a lot on her at home with the two little kids. But she's excited for us. Cohen's going to get to come up and be a part of the program and help with the boys, and have hopefully 15 older brothers that he can look up to. So I'm excited to kind of make that basketball team a family-like culture.
Yeah, thanks to all the wives of all of us involved in sports for helping us out in that department. And Cohen might start next year. Those seniors better be looking out. This kid can shoot.
He's a good little ball player, but he's going to continue to work. And I know just being around the team and being around the players, he's going to love it. So really excited.
All right, Kyle, thanks a lot.
Yep, thanks.
Kyle Buss, athletic director at Mount Carmel High School, and the new varsity head basketball coach here on In Focus.